Hello, hi guys, my name is Zia and welcome back to my channel. If you are new to my channel, welcome to YouTube. I know I have been MIA for quite some time, but I was going through some life things, which is what we're going to be talking about today. How 2020 went and the life lessons that it taught me, the heartbreaks, and losing my job. So I've been journaling, and I'm going to show you, well, I'm not going to show you, I'm going to read off my journal or what I'm going to be talking about. So let's get into this video. Before we start, I just need to drink something because my throat is quite dry. And what I'm going to be talking about is emotions, guys. Like, I am one person who does not talk about emotions. So if you watch this video, you're going to see me at my most vulnerable, because I feel like some of the stuff that I'm going to talk about is quite... it's a lot, so bear with me if I cry. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to start with is energy. So energy, frequency, and aura. That is something that I've always known. Like, I've always lived by those three things ever since I've known me, or I've discovered the type of person that I was. So this year reminded me of those three things, because along the way I kind of forgot, and all the good vibrations kind of left because of how the year started out. So basically what happened for me to lose all of those things was last year I had a job opportunity that I was gonna start this year, and I was finally gonna leave the country, which is something that I've always wanted to do, and I was so excited about it. But it ended up not happening because of COVID, as you all know. So all the jobs were like stalled, and they all thought it was gonna go back to normal after the lockdown, but everything just went downhill from there. And my vibrations were so off, like they were so out of whack. I lost that alignment of who Zia was, and my iman with Allah was tested as well, and it was all the way bad. Like, I can't even like stress enough how my frequency and my aura changed throughout the year. And which brings me to my next point, which was how after all of that we went into lockdown, and I thought I had all the time to be creative and do all the things that I love to do, but that did not happen because I was just feeling so down. Like, I put all my eggs in one basket. I was so excited about this job, and this job did not happen. But then I had a job here in the country, which I wasn't so happy about. So that was the one thing that I was just like, I'm so sad that I'm stuck in this place, and I don't like the job that I'm currently in. So it was just like a whole lot of things already, a lot of emotions that were going on. And then we had lockdown, and it kind of forced me to re-evaluate some things, but also I didn't, because I was so set in what I wanted at that time that I wanted. So it was all the way bad, and it just went from there, and it just went literally within a space of a few months. And I reached a point where I was depressed, and I had to go on antidepressants. No one really knows this except for my sister, my best friend, and my other friend. But yeah, like, life was so hard, and I felt like I was being pummeled in every direction. Like, it was just like emotion after emotion, emotion after emotion. I just like swept things under the rug, and I never really speak about how I'm feeling, and it's just like how I've always been. I'm the suffer in silence type of person. It's just like, deal with it, Zia, and move on. But this time I just couldn't move on. Like, I couldn't deal with it and move on. So yeah, I went on antidepressants for a few months. Like, I think it was 6 months. And my periods also were just like not coming because of how stressed out I was. Like, I just felt like the world was just like against me, and I've never felt like that. So yeah, like energy wise, I was literally giving the world what it was giving me back. And I'm all about manifestations, so I was manifesting all the bad things to happen, and that's exactly what I attracted. And it was hard. Like, it was really, really hard. And I just disappeared from social media. I disappeared from my life, like my daily life, my family life. I was just like in such a hole that I felt like I couldn't get out. But everything happens for a reason, and that just, what made it worst was my next point, which is losing my friend. Like, I lost my best friend, and whew, this is the first time that I'm talking about this, and it was the hardest thing I've ever had to go through in my life. I've never felt like that. I've never felt that much hurt in my entire life. And I haven't spoken about this because it was just so hard for me. Like, even thinking about it, because I'm still going through the grief. I've dealt with grief before, but like, I've never dealt with grief like this. Like, this is a different type of hurt. And I remember that Sunday that I found out that she had died. I couldn't believe it. Like, for the life of me, I thought someone was pulling a prank on me, or she was pulling a prank on me. And I genuinely didn't believe it until I saw her in her coffin. And even then, it was really hard for me to come to grips with the fact that she's no longer here. So that type of loss was a lot. It was so hard to deal with. Like, I felt like I cried every day, every second of the day, leading up to her funeral and even after her funeral. And then her birthday was just a few weeks ago, on the 12th of December, and the magnitude of emotions that I had to deal with, or like unpack, was really hard for me, because I lost my job and then I lost her in the same breath. So it was hard for me to just like come to grips with the fact that I don't have the one person who I felt like loved me without any question. She's been there for me since forever, beginning of high school. And I don't know, it was a lot. Like, it was a lot for me to deal with. And luckily I go to therapy and I speak about those kind of things that I can't speak about to people I don't know, or people that I do know. But I feel like I had to share this part of my life, especially with this year, because it was such a trash year throughout. And I just wanted to share this part of my journey, because I feel like maybe someone else has gone through it. And what I learned with losing her was how I've given so much of myself to other people, and they've never given that back to me except for her and maybe my other best friend. But the love that I gave out to other people is what I kind of attracted again. So it's all about what you put out and what you give back. But I didn't give back what I put out when it comes to friends and stuff like that. And I remember I wrote her a letter, so I don't know if I should read that letter because I feel like I'm just gonna cry even more than I have. But I wrote her a letter, and I'm just gonna read. It's a lot. It's like 3 pages long, so like bear with me, because yeah, I've never read it to anyone since the day that I wrote it. I didn't even read it to my therapist because I just didn't want to feel that vulnerable or that naked with her. At that time I wasn't ready to share it, but I'm going to share it with you guys. And I wrote this on the 10th of November, which was just 10 days, yeah, like 10 days after her passing. So it goes like this. Dear Alvin, my Habibti, never in my life did I think I would feel this kind of heartbreak. November 1st at 10:21, I got the most devastating call, a call that I didn't know would alter my life and everything as I knew it. Sunday morning, after I just started cooking and made dua for you in regards to your new job, I didn't know that that was Allah's way of telling me that you were no longer a part of this world. I still remember vividly how Standra delivered the news to me. She couldn't even form words to tell me because she knew how much you mean to me. When she told me, I felt like my heart was being deprived of oxygen. I started screaming repeatedly, saying, no, 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 because it wasn't true. It couldn't be true. Anyone but you. Your face and your dimples. Whew, let me collect myself. Your face with your big dimples flashed in front of me, and I crippled over crying because I realized that I truly had no friend. When I went to your home that Sunday morning, I still didn't believe. I still couldn't believe it because it was so real, especially when they couldn't find your body. I had hope that your sister would call and confirm that you were found and you were fine. I didn't know how to feel or even move on. I still don't know till today. The entire week leading up to your funeral was such a blur. I couldn't sleep and all I could do was cry. Everything set me off, and the thought of never hearing you say Mama or Habibti or Pamela gutted me. Your friendship meant the world to me, and so did the love you showed me. Throughout the years of you being in Doha, you never forgot about me, and I never forgot about you. I lost all the people I thought were my friends when I reverted to Islam, but you never faltered. I feel immense guilt that when you permanently returned to SA, we didn't get to spend enough time together because COVID happened. This year was the worst year for both of us, and you still thought about me always, even when you had your own stuff to deal with. My Habibti, seeing your body on your funeral didn't make it any easier for me to accept your death. It was unexpected, and my question every day is, how do I move on from this? How do I deal with the grief without forgetting your smile, your love, and your obnoxious love for the color pink? I feel guilty thinking about the future because you won't be there with me to share it like we planned. I feel guilty to carry on with my daily life. Going on with my daily life like you're not just gonna text me with a job application. I feel guilty not knowing what to say to Njabulo, your sister, when I can barely get out of my bed myself. I feel guilty waking up for the last 10 days knowing that your chance is over, and with all your hopes and dreams will never come to fruition. I know you're probably just rolling your eyes at me for being so dramatic, but you'd want me to be happy, successful, regardless of what has happened. I ask that you give me strength to grieve your death without killing myself in the process. For me to not forget you, even when I've learned to heal myself, and to enjoy life the way that I know you've always wanted me to. I know you love me because I felt it every day, even when you were not in my presence. Always I knew you loved me, and I'm so grateful that I got to know you the way that I did. And parts of me wish that the world also got to experience the lovely person that you were, and got to experience your love. Thank you for taking the time to understand me where so many thought I was so weird and odd. Thank you for your patience. I'm not the easiest person to get along with or to deal with, but for you it was so easy. You truly were one of a kind, and those who got to know you and experience that would say the same thing. You loved life, and you lived it exactly how you wanted, and I'm so glad that you did. May Allah give you everything. Allah gave you everything that you wanted, and I guess the others were not part of His plan. Sleep well, my habibti, and inshallah we will one day again see each other in the next life. Love, your habibti, Pamela. I need some time. So y'all, I just had to gather myself a little bit and so I can get back and finish this video for you guys. But yeah, that was my letter to my best friend, my angel. And yeah, so we'll move on from that. But losing her, what losing her did for me, it taught me self-love, because I had closed myself so much because I kept on giving and giving and giving, and I forgot about me. I forgot to show myself compassion. I forgot to show myself kindness. I forgot to show myself love, because I felt like I had so much love from her, and then when she left I felt like that love left with her. And losing her it put me in a space where I needed to re-evaluate a lot of things, like re-evaluate myself, re-evaluate the people that are in my life currently, and where I want to see those relationships. But yeah, it taught me how to give myself love, and I had to learn it from scratch. Basically, I had to start from scratch. And I'm not saying I am there in just a month. I'm not there yet. I'm still working on me, but I have faith that I will be back to my old self, or old new self, and reinventing who I am and how I feel about me. And now I get to show myself love in a healthy way, because I feel like I attracted it in a bad way because I didn't know how to love me before I could love somebody else. And I felt like even those people that I did love, I don't think I loved them the right way, or maybe I did, or because I overcompensated and it just didn't come back like that to me. But yeah, it definitely taught me self-love. I'm still on the journey of really truly loving myself and being comfortable with me, and not feeling any shame, not feeling any guilt, because most of the time I would definitely feel shame for how I felt and not being able to say it out loud to somebody. But now I'm being real with me, being real with myself, because there's no one to be real with me now, like in person, because my other best friend doesn't live here, so it's kind of hard for me to talk to her because time zones, and I mean, I didn't want to burden her with my stuff. I'm just that type of person. I feel like I don't want to burden somebody else with all my emotions and all my load, so I'd rather carry it by myself. But then now I realized, since I don't have my best friend, I have a best friend in Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I'm grateful for that, because it made me realize that he should be my first friend before everybody else, and everybody else should come after him. So yeah, I learned that big life lesson, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad I realized that. And yeah, now I know how somebody's supposed to love me. So if you don't, I'm not going to shoot you because I don't have a gun, but yeah, I know what I'm worth, and I know how I'm supposed to be treated, because I'm treating myself like that now. So once I get to that place where I'm all gooey and giddy inside about myself, and I look at the mirror and I'm like, oh, you are that, yes, that will be the time when I know that I'm good with me. And another thing that I learned is not forcing myself to be creative. I think this year definitely taught me that, because I did not do nothing. Like literally, I was so in my own, like I was wallowing in my self-pity, or I was throwing myself a pity party basically from the beginning of the year until now, well, until like a month ago. And now I've learned to not force myself to do things, because I literally would have my job, like I will go to my 9-to-5 job, and then I'll come back, and the first thing that I'm thinking about is what to do creatively, what I'm going to do for my channel, what I'm going to do for my Instagram. And yeah, I was just like exhausted. I was so mentally exhausted by all of it, because it was too much. I was doing too much, and I was forgetting about taking care of me, like taking care of my mental health and making sure that I'm fine. So yeah, this year definitely taught me to listen to my body and listen to my mental, and just take things easy and not be too hard on myself, because I am a perfectionist. Like I'm probably not going to be happy with this video even, but I will try. I'm never happy. Like, I just want things to be done 110%, and I think that's a good attitude to have, but sometimes it's very unhealthy. And I'm really glad that I got this downtime and to realize that I needed to think about myself in that way and not constantly wanting to put out content. So yeah, not to force myself to be creative, and just, which brings me to my next point, and that was to rest. Take time to yourself, take time to breathe, enjoy nature, go on hikes, go on a picnic, go by the river, something. But yeah, it really, I needed to rest. Like, my body and my mind needed to rest, and it really got me back into doing yoga again and really enjoying it, like doing it with enjoyment and not doing it because I have to do it. It's something that I've been doing. So actively resting doesn't mean just sleeping. It means that you take some time away from social media, you take some time away from people who don't deserve your time, and you just put that time into you and spending time with yourself. You can take a nap. There's nothing wrong with taking a nap. I would take 1 hour, 2 hour naps. That's almost like sleep, but yeah. Yeah, take a nap. Journal. I've been journaling a lot. Like this year, I've just been writing a whole lot, and that helps, like, because I can't put my feelings out to people or tell them to people. It's always easy to put it on paper, and that has really helped me in really looking at where I want to be with my life. And that's where I was at the end of last year. I was at a point where I knew exactly what I wanted, and then this year I had to take some few steps back and not know where I want to be, and which was very uncomfortable for me. I don't like being in limbo, and this year that's literally what it was. I was literally in limbo, and it was not perfect limbo. It was just limbo where I was just like hanging, and I didn't like that feeling. So having to rest and think about me, think about what I wanted, not watch TV. I really got into SMR. It really helped with my sleeping patterns because I had insomnia. Well, I have insomnia. I've had insomnia for the longest, and definitely with everything that was going on this year, it really helped with my sleeping patterns because I couldn't sleep. So every time I would listen to it, it would rest my mind, and it made me feel so relaxed, which I am grateful that I discovered it. So if anybody wants to look into that, I'll link some videos that I've watched before in the description box. And my last point would be I got laid off at work. So I lost my job in October, and I mean, like, it wasn't the best. Like, I wasn't like excited about having it, but like I liked it because I got paid. I mean, everybody likes money, so I had a steady income. So that was the highlight of me having it, and I enjoyed it for the most part. For other things I didn't, like office politics and stuff like that. But I kind of saw it coming, and which I told my best friend this, that I kind of saw it coming because of how the previous year it was. And I didn't think it was going to be the way that it was, the way that it happened. It just happened in a larger scale than I thought. But yeah, at that time, I don't know if I was heartbroken. I think because I kind of prepared myself for it to happen. When it happened, it didn't hurt as much, but then after it hurt, because I'm just like, what must happen? Where am I gonna get the money from? How am I gonna buy fancy? Like, those kind of stuff. And with me, I am a person who likes to make myself feel better by shopping. And I I haven't done that this year, which is so weird. So when I lost my job, it was just like, okay, so Zia, what's the next step? And already I was always in the pit. I was already in the pits, and I was feeling so pummeled by everything, and it was just like I was being bulldozed over by a bulldozer. So it was just like, I don't know how to describe how I felt like in the aftermath of it all, when the whole process went through, because obviously you have to serve some time at work, and then you go through the process of applying for UIF, you go through the process of labor stuff, and I think when I got my letter, like the forms that I need to sign that say that I have been retrenched, I think that's when it hit me, and I was just like, what now? Like, what's gonna happen now? And I'm just like, what I do on the side, my side hustles, are not enough to sustain me yet. So it was a really hard pill to swallow, and it really made me cognizant of my words, what I say, again, manifestations, what I say, what I think, because the universe listens to you. And even sometimes when you don't say it out loud, the fact that you are thinking it and you are feeling it, the vibrations, again, it goes back to frequency and aura and all that stuff, and energy. So because my energy was already bad, and I was just like, I'm not happy at this job, and then the universe gave me exactly what I was complaining about and released me of that job. But I am grateful for the fact that I'm still here, even though I went through such a tough year of emotions, and really having to be honest with myself, because I feel like I haven't been honest with myself for a long time, and this year really forced me to do that. And it wasn't pretty, it wasn't easy, it was really hard, and it's still hard. I mean, there's still a few days of 2020, anything could happen. And yeah, I'm just like, I'm praying that I'm grateful that I'm still here, and I pray that my mom gets better, because she's been ill as well. So I pray that she gets better, and it doesn't end in another sadness. So I'm really grateful for the time that I got to be with my friend, and to love her, and for us to be in this year and go through this year together, with the hardships, with the good stuff, with the loves, and really getting the time to think what Zia wants, where Zia wants to be, and putting all my faith in Allah, knowing that He will come through for me. And the biggest thing is realizing how weak my iman was this year. And I think everything that happened this year had to remind me of how my faith has deteriorated, and how I need to get back to the first love that loved me, and learning to forgive myself also, which is really hard for me. I struggle with forgiving me and showing myself compassion and kindness, because I'm so hard on myself. I'm just like a hard shell in general. I'm only nice or sweet to people who really know me, and to myself I'm not so gentle. So yeah, this year was trash, but the fact that I'm still here at the end of it is very important, and I'm grateful for it. So yeah, that was intense. I feel like I'm so drained right now. So many emotions are going through me, but if you have watched up until the end, thank you very much, and good for you, because it was a lot. But thank you guys for being here, if you are still here, and hopefully in 2021 things are different, but I'm not going to make any resolutions or stuff like that.